I'm Elena. I'm 33 and I'm an illustration artist. And a little bit of a backstory. So, starting with the sad stuff first. So my parents, sorry, my parents passed away. My dad in 2018 and my mother in 2019. Two traumas for me, but therapy is going really, really well. So I'm good. I left my work field. I have a bachelor in educational science. So in German, it's Pädagogik in English, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I opened my own online shop in January 2021, where I sell my illustrations and stuff. And I now have an exhausting part-time job, a cleaning part-time job, because I have to pay my bills. I have to live.
Yeah,
and 12 hours a week. Like I said, really exhausting, but it's fine.
Well, you also said though that you literally have no debt and you have savings, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to point out to everybody.
Yeah.
I have a terrible habit of focusing on what's going wrong. You're not giving yourself enough credit.
Me?
Let me tell you, Elena, a different way to tell that story. I lost my mom and dad. Devastating. And I'm really proud of myself, which you did say, because I've done a tremendous amount of work and I've pulled myself up by my bootstraps and I sell my illustrations online. And you know what? Even though it's a lot of work, 12 hours a week, I work this job cleaning. It's enough to pay my bills. It gives me time to do other things. I have no debt. I have savings. And this girl has some big dreams. And that's why I signed up for B School.
Exactly.
And when I read your thing, you want to be a travel blogger, it sounds like.
Yes. Right.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Does that scare you?
Not at all. I'm pushing myself quite a lot. Even before my parents passed, I had the goal, okay, I want to make my illustration job and so on. But here's the thing.
Tell me the thing.
I'm doing this since, like I said, I draw for more years now, but I started the online business 2021. So
yeah.
And I'm not making that much income. Sometimes there are months where I'm making nothing. And that's totally fine because I'm at the beginning. I also have, that's also good to know. I have an Instagram. I have a YouTube channel. I love making videos. I'm learning so much. I started TikTok. I have my homepage. I'm writing blog posts. Mel, I also wrote a blog post about you.
Oh. I'll have to read it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because there's a huge theme here. You guys noticing the theme with everybody? You guys all have lots of stuff going on. And that's an important thing if you need to have a lot of stuff going on to make ends meet.
Mm.
And I love that you're saying that your illustrations and that store is at the very beginning of the process. And that's going to take time. That's true. But here's what I don't hear. What do you want your life to look like?
I want this to go pretty well. I want to be able, like I wrote, I want to be able to travel. And my goal is to make this happen next year. And
So what do you mean by travel? See, the other thing I'm going to keep pointing out to everybody is that before you can figure out the plan or the map to get where you want to go, you got to pick your head up and point at what you want. And the more specific the destination, the better. It is impossible to give you great guidance and coaching if I don't know exactly what you want. Because here's the thing, if you really wanted life where you travel, I can tell you 10 travel bloggers that you should follow. You can stalk their stories, and with your skills, you could probably be making money and doing that full time in a matter of 3 to 6 months. Because there are magazines that are looking for freelancers to do that. Once you get with one hotel, they connect you with another hotel. Once you start tagging people, cafes, it is one of those things that builds. You've told me you have no debt, that you have savings, that you have a job that is 12 hours a week that is not keeping you somewhere. So what do you actually want?
I know when I do this next year. So my first goal is to go to Japan again for 3 months.
Okay.
And I know that at my part-time job, they won't let me go and say, okay, it's unpaid vacation. And when you come back here, you can start again. So I know, okay, it's kind of.
So here's what's interesting. You ready? Yeah. I'm going to push you a little bit.
Yeah, please.
Do you have, is that house that you're sitting in a place that you own that you have to pay for?
Nope, it's a flat. And it's the flat of my best friend. And I have to pay such less money.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Your whole life is organized around what's happening at this 12-hour-a-week job.
Yes, exactly.
Do you know why I'm pointing that out?
No.
We are in the single best job market in 40 years.
What was my best job?
No. This is the best job market in 40 years. People cannot find people to work.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to tell you is that you're organizing your entire life around a part-time job.
I know where you're going.
Where am I going?
Yeah, I have the exact same thought. They are
no, but where am I going? Where am I going? I'm going to push you.
There are shitty jobs out there everywhere. I can.
There's a shitty job in Japan waiting for you.
Yeah, everywhere. I know. Yeah.
Your issue is courage.
Yeah. That's fun because courage is one of my things that I'm keeping pushing myself. Okay. Yeah.
Prove it.
Yeah. That's right.
I have a feeling that you holding on to where you are has to do with grieving.
Grieving and maybe, okay, my because I have a partner and he also lives here. But I think we can maybe hopefully figure something out.
Elena?
Yeah.
Hope is for children on Christmas morning who hope that they're going to get a certain present. You are a 33-year-old brilliant woman who has taken control of her healing, who has figured out how to set up an entire business around your illustrations. You have paid off your debt. You have savings. We are no longer in a game of hope. We are in the business of creating a life that's amazing. And that begins the moment you wake up and go, what the fuck am I doing? I'm worried about this job. I am going to call a meeting tonight with my partner and I'm going to say, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We are going to reinvent our lives. Fuck it. Let's figure out how to go to Japan for 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
because this shitty job's going to be here. And so is this flat when we decide we don't like it. And if I burn through my savings trying to figure something out because I can't figure out how to make that work, then I'll just save more money.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose.
I'm writing courage big on
courage. And courage means action.
Yeah.
You're going to feel afraid, but this is the day.
No, that's normal growth.
You're not going to grow in that flat, and you're not going to grow next year. And I'm not going to allow you to wait another year.
Yeah. And this is exactly what I'm feeling. Every time I wake up, I'm doing my stuff, and I'm doing quite a lot of stuff. And I wrote it also to you. Wait, let me point this out.
I saw it. I don't need this. You don't need that. I don't need this story. I don't care how much you're doing. You're doing the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
I'm fucking busy too. And for a long time, it was the wrong stuff, which is why I was miserable.
The only thing I felt, why I feel so, why I ask you if it's naive or so, because I'm not making that much income or not at all income now. This is
who cares? Who cares? So you're not making a lot of income, which only means if you stay in the place that you're in, you're going to stay trapped because you don't have enough income. You're not going to have enough income next year either.
Yeah.
Take a risk. Live a little. You can come back to this.
Yeah. This was exactly what I was feeling the whole time.
Well, I hope this is exactly what you do.
Yeah.
Because feeling it, unless it activates action, you might as well just fart, because it doesn't do anything. Like, it just is like, you need to get frustrated and say, I'm done with this. I am sick of myself. In fact, let's pick a date right now. What day are you going to Japan or going to another country or quitting this job? Give me the day. Let's commit publicly right now. It's March 22nd.
March or April.
Give me a date. Let's pull the calendar.
Okay, let's say April the 1st.
April 1st? Hell yes. All right, great. You're going to keep us posted on where you're doing and what your plan is.
I will.
Will you put Glow Autonomo, her account, in the in Instagram? Thank you. She started travel blogging, I think 7 years ago. And really amazing woman, really good friend of mine, super inspiring.
Okay.
She'll give you tips. And I think on her YouTube channel, she's got all kinds of stuff about how to get started. She's killer.
I also haven't found an illustrator who does this, because I would love to incorporate both.
Listen, I think your ideas are incredible. Go do them.
Okay.
Here's an illustration. You ready?
Yeah.
Give us an illustration of the moment that you got off your ass and quit that job. And then give us an illustration of you buying the plane ticket. And then give us an illustration of how scared you are as you see the savings go down a little. And then give us an illustration of what your partner looks like when he's like, wait, what? We're going where? And then give us an illustration of your first day in Japan.
Yeah.
And then take us on the journey with you.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. You're awesome.
Mel, I don't even know. I can't even begin to think about what my dream is. The reason why you can't even begin to think about what your dream is, and how many of you can relate to that? Are you kidding me, Mel? Like, my day feels like triage. I don't have a clue what the heck I want. I just want to get through the day. If that's your experience of life, first of all, you're not alone. Secondly, your life doesn't have to be that hard. Things around you can be hard, but you can do little things. Remember, I'm the gal that's all about how the little things that you do can change everything that you do. And so what I want you to understand is you're disconnected from yourself right now. And you're disconnected from yourself and your spirit and your heart and your soul and the strength inside you, because life right now is so stressful. That's why where I want everybody to begin, if you're going to listen to one episode, listen to the one about stress, and then go and listen to the one about goals and dreams. Because if you're vibrating at a stress level that's super high and your nervous system is like this, and you feel like you're just surviving, or you're sleepwalking through life and you're just trying to get through the day, of course you're not connected to your dreams. because you aren't even grounded in your body. And so Jody just mentioned something called the vagus nerve. Now, all the advice in my Start Your Pep Talks are free. Okay. You don't have to buy anything to apply the advice. You have inside of you this super cool thing called the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs all the way from your tailbone, all the way through up every major organ, through your vocal cords, all the way to your brain. And this sucker is a secret weapon, because if you spend a little bit of time every day doing what they call toning it, okay, making it toned, you can use the vagus nerve. No joke. I'm not kidding. This is real. I didn't make this up. You can use this nerve to settle your nervous system. How? Well, there's a bunch of things you can do. Based on the research, you could take a hot bath. Sitting in a hot bath immediately calms you. If you don't have a bathtub, no problem. Stand under a hot shower. If you can get outside without your earbuds in or your headphones on and without your phone. And if you can, take off your shoes and feel the earth underneath your feet, because the air and the sounds and being grounded in the earth will tone the vagus nerve. You want to know another thing that does it? Humming, singing, chanting. You know, there's a reason why monks are like, And if you do that with me, if you go, let's just do it together right now. Let's just go, You know where you feel it? Right up here, right? You don't feel it. You feel it here, but you feel it right up here. That's the vagus nerve vibrating and settling down your body. And so you want to start to really get into the mode right now, everybody, of doing something proactive every day that's going to help you lower your stress vibration in your nervous system. Because if you're operating at a zzz kind of level, you're disconnected from yourself. So first we got to get you grounded in your body and reconnected to yourself. That's number one. Then number two, in terms of dreaming, you have to start dreaming again, everybody. I know so many of you, how many of you are thinking, I can't wait for life to go back to normal? Well, guess what? This is the normal right now. So I want you to use this time to start to really think about what you value, and to think about when you come out of this, which you're going to, what do you want to align your life with in the future? You know, if you think about who you are right now, this is the current you, there's the future you too. See, I think we're all kind of suspended between two lives, the one that we're currently living and the one we have yet to create for ourselves. And so I want you to start to think about next year. Let's just pick June 2021. Okay. It's enough time to think that things might be a little bit different. What could the current you do right now that will bring you closer and start to close the gap with the future you? That's the power of your dreams, is they pull you forward. They make you think beyond the circumstance. They remind you of who you are. And so start with what you value. Start with the stuff you don't like that's happening right now in your life. Start eliminating that, but start to think bigger about what life could look like if you allowed yourself, you gave yourself permission to dream.
Wow, that's so good. It's like we're getting a little taste of the pep talk format, which I was going to say. What do you think it is about this formatting that seems to work so well to bring people from just hearing something to actually doing it?
So, you know, the other thing about me, Mel Robbins, is that I think talk is really cheap. And, you know, that's kind of weird coming from a woman that talks for a living. But we are all experts at thinking about what we want. And we're all experts at trying to change on our own. And changing is a lot easier when you do it with somebody else. And you could think about what you want to do until the day that you die. But it's not until you find the courage to take action and to try that you will actually start changing your life. And so I guarantee you, every one of you, you're super smart and you know exactly what you need to be doing. I do too. One of the most amazing things about this pandemic and the kind of pause that it hit is it's really slowed me down, and it's forced me to think about what actually matters to me. You see, I bet that you have become addicted to being busy. You're used to racing all over the place. You're used to putting everybody first. You're used to pretending to be somebody at work and pretending to be somebody in your relationship and pretending to be somebody at home. And that disconnection that you feel from yourself, that is something I want you to pay attention to. It just means that you're not aligned with the person that you're meant to be and the values that you have and what you actually care about. You've gotten stuck in this trap of pleasing everybody around you, and you've got just trapped in the addiction to being busy. We all have. And so this has really created a moment in my life where I've said to myself, well, what does Mel Robbins want? Yeah. I know that Mel has been racing around for 5 years. I've been on, stages and planes 110 days a year. Mm-hmm. What do I actually want? If June rolls around and we come out of this, what do I want? And I'll tell you, it scares me. Like, I started to think, I think I actually want to do some events of my own. I think I want to do a lot more programming online. I think I want to, I start thinking about, I think I want to figure out how to do that and not become so like I'm running all the time. And so I'm in the middle of the same inquiry as you are. I'm figuring out my current life in the pandemic, but what does the future life look like? And how do I make sure that when I start creating what I want next, I don't bring all my old patterns and all my old mistakes and all the personality types that I attract that create drama for me? How do I create something new that really serves who I'm becoming? And so I invite you to think about that, because you can create anything that you want to create. Are you kidding me? The only thing that is holding you back is the garbage you tell yourself. The only thing, and I realize, and I make a real point in a lot of these pep talks and in my work to say, Jody, there may be some really heavy stuff you've dealt with in your life. You may be, have faced some serious abuse. You may have been the victim of crimes. You have maybe faced severe discrimination and bias in your life. You've maybe born into severe hardship and disadvantage. You're not responsible for any of that, but you have a responsibility for how you heal yourself and how you move forward. And that's what I'm here to help you to do, to think about what's coming next and who you want to become. And what are these patterns that have held you back forever? Patterns in your mind and patterns of behavior, just habits, not good, not bad, just stuff that you don't want to use anymore. How do you update those? And that's what we're here to help you with, because once you understand that all human beings we're all literally just a bunch of people walking around that repeat patterns that we don't realize we're repeating. And the good news about that is, if in any area of your life you don't like that area of your life, whether it's your health or it's the relationships or it's the lack of money in your bank account, I guarantee you there's a pattern from your past that is preventing you from becoming the most amazing you in the future. You find that pattern, we break that pattern, we replace it with something that the future you is doing, and boom, you change your life.
That's so cool. It's so true that we're always investing in our future today. And I think for me, listening to each of the episodes, there really is a sense that you are coming alongside and helping us start here. And I think obviously that, like I said, that format works really well. One of the things I thought was super interesting that you said is, you say that jealousy is an indicator of desire. And we often think about jealousy as a fully negative thing, but actually, if we explore it, it can show us what we want. I just would be curious if you could speak to people who are trying to wrestle with these complicated emotions and how they might disable the alarm of what you call anxiety.
Sure. So let's unpack both of those.
Yep.
So when it comes to jealousy, everybody, and I've been talking a lot about dreams, right? And the importance of you dreaming, and that when you give up on your dreams, you give up on yourself, and that dreams are a lifeline to the person that you want to become. And you need to use them, and particularly right now. And one of the reasons why I'm going to keep hammering this idea that right now is the time to double down on the dreams and double down on the kind of person you want to become. And the reason why I believe this is because your reality right now is a function of what you see in the future. And if you see nothing but the same old crap coming at you in the future, you are going to feel discouraged right now. Your dreams act as a beacon out in the future that give you something to look forward to. It's a way to hack positivity, a way to hack hope, a way to hack optimism. And it starts to lead you towards something and out of where you are. So that's why they're really important. Now, one of the tools that you can use as you start to put dreams out in the future, everybody, is you can use jealousy, because jealousy is a signal from deep within that somebody out there has something that you want. Jealousy is very different than envy. Envy is like tar inside you. Envy is when you look at somebody and say they don't deserve that and you judge them. Jealousy is more like curiosity in my mind. Jealousy is one of these signals I want you to pay attention to. Oh, I'm jealous of them. Interesting. Why? Oh, okay. Well, because they're putting a kitchen on in the middle of a pandemic and I hate this hideous thing I cook in every day. And that makes me angry that I'm not aligned with my partner. And I've spent my money on stupid things at Home Goods. And I just like, why am I not getting ordered? So jealousy tells you something. Okay. And so, you know, for me, I was really jealous of people that had podcasts, and I would sit there and think about it a lot. And then I'm like, well, why am I not just doing one? And so use it as a signal that there's something that your soul is trying to make you pay attention to. Somebody's doing something out there that you are jealous of. It means you want some aspect of that. Then unpack it. What does that mean? We go over that in Dreams and Goals. Listen to that one on Start Here. Every single morning, Monday through Fridays at 9 a.m., I host a live call-in radio show on Sirius Satellite Radio. It's called Make It Happen with Mel Robbins. And the thing that's been so crazy about that show is every single person that calls me on that show, they call in because they're feeling stuck in their lives and they're resigned about their ability to change their lives. And I'm not talking about people that are nuts. I'm talking about successful people like you and me that just somehow got stuck in their lives. And I'm not talking about people that are looking for cheesy self-help. I'm talking about people that really want to figure out how to move themselves forward. And you know, I find that so many of us think that our dreams are unreachable or unrealistic, and it's just so sad. I mean, people think that their dreams disappear. And if that's what you think, congratulations, you're officially stuck. And the truth is that our dreams are always there, and they don't ever give up on us. We give up on them. But here's the secret. If you just force yourself, and I mean force, because I know damn well none of you want to do anything about this, and I also know you're sitting there like, yeah, this self-help crap, this isn't for me. But if you just force yourself to take a couple small steps, there's always a surprise. I want you to start seeing something bigger. I know you're all successful. I'm talking about something really big for your life. And in order to do that, you have to answer this question. What do you really want? Now, I'm not talking about something small. I'm not talking about a little haiku. I'm not talking about renovating your kitchen. I'm not talking about signing on 10 new customers this month. I'm talking about what you really want. You know, 3 years ago, I was a lawyer and a business coach working with private clients and big corporations all over the country. And I came to a seminar, just like this one, a big leadership seminar, and I went there with my husband. We're both business owners, and I went because I wanted to be more successful. And I went because I wanted to make even more money than I already did. And I was sitting exactly where you are. In fact, I was sitting about, I don't know, 15 rows back, right where that woman with her hand on her thing, like, yet, you? Yeah, she's like, hi. Was sitting, and I was taking notes, and I'm like, okay, I'm here to make more money. And then all of a sudden, she walked on stage. That is Martha Beck. She writes a column for Oprah Winfrey. She travels around the country speaking. She's a best-selling author. And when she walked on stage, I literally stopped listening. Please keep listening to me right now. And it hit me. I said, I want to be doing that. I'm ready for a bigger stage. Like, that's it. And what's so interesting about when you answer that question is that you don't answer it up here. You answer it here. That's how you see something bigger for yourself. You know, you guys are really cute because everybody's like, I don't see it. I don't see anything for myself right now. Now I'm just confused. I thought I knew what I wanted. You know, and now, Mel, I'm not really sure. And right now, the economy is so bad. I mean, it's so bad that even if you're successful, I know sometimes I feel embarrassed talking about my success around some of my friends because I know that they're really struggling. And I get calls every day into the radio show, people saying, oh, I've got this great idea, but I just don't know if it's the right time. And you know what I say to them? I say, yeah, you know, you're right. The recession, it's huge, you should wait. Those dreams, yeah, put them on hold. That's right. You should stay in that job you can't stand just a little bit longer. You get college bills to pay. I mean, you know, what you're doing, it's fine. You're busy, right? That guy you're dating, he's good enough for you. But for the people in this room, baloney. You know, that's right. You know exactly what you want. And the only thing that you need to do is to admit it. Now, this may sound weird because I know most of you came in here because you're like, I know what I want. I'm here at Success to try to figure it out. I'm talking about something bigger, much bigger. I'll admit to you what it is that I'm up to. And the truth is, it's embarrassing. Because when you lock on to something way bigger than where you're at, it is downright embarrassing to tell people. Because you're not there yet. But I mean, at this rate, I've already admitted to you that I stalked Martha Beck and that I brought a haiku to the best, you know, lit agent in the country, so I got nothing to lose at this point. So this is what I want. Well, not him. I'm married. I want what he's got. I want 600 radio stations. I want 2 million listeners. And I could certainly deal with the $400 million salary. In fact, if I got it, I'd renovate everybody's kitchen. And you know, the thing is, though, that's so interesting about this is that I didn't pick him. I mean, I'm not looking to become a cigar-smoking, conservative, political guy that like stirs the pot and makes everybody all mad. I'm the liberal lifestyle gal that's trying to help people out. But what I want to do is I want to use radio to entertain people and help them achieve their dreams. And when I really think about it, he's the one that's in the front. I want to not only reach what he's doing, I want to surpass him. I mean, do you think I like it when my friends come over to my office in Boston at my house and they're like, what is that guy doing on your board? No, it's embarrassing. When you admit the big thing that you're up to, it's embarrassing. I have 40 stations. He's got 600. There's a big gap. So admitting where you want to get to is embarrassing, but you got to do it. So Lizzie writes, how do you split your passions? I'm passionate about my job, but I know it's not forever anymore. I'm also an entrepreneur and trying to build my own business. How do I find time for both until I can just focus on my business? Lizzie, fabulous question. And first, I want to give you a really surprising piece of information. This comes from one of my favorite authors. His name is Adam Grant. He wrote a fantastic book, The Originals. Just go buy it and read it, and trust me, you will be thanking me later because it's an amazing read. In the opening chapter, he dispels this myth that we all buy into, and that is that most successful entrepreneurs are these huge risk takers. Turns out that's not the case. Check this out. You're in good company if you're working full-time and trying to launch your business. There was a study that he cites where over the course of 14 years, 2 researchers followed 5,000 businesses. And guess what? The businesses that were launched by somebody like you who was working full-time while launching your business had a 33% less chance of failing than the people that quit their jobs and jump all in. And the reason why is you know how to hedge your bets. You're a little conservative in terms of the risks that you'll take, which means over the long term, your business is more likely to succeed. You asked me, how do I balance my passions? How do you find the time? Because I, like you, have a million things going on. From being an on-air commentator to CNN, to having an incredible partnership with Success Magazine and doing a ton of cool stuff with them, to giving over 80 speeches a year and running a company and having a family. The key is this. You must find 30 minutes before 7:30 in the morning. 30 minutes before 7:30 that you take at home, that you take at a coffee shop, where you organize your day and you work on 2 things that will push your business forward. 30 minutes before 7:30. Why do you need to do this? Well, because when you walk into work, your day is likely going to get hijacked. And secondly, if you were to take this time every single morning and focus yourself, you're now starting your day having already done work to advance your business, and you're walking into your current job knowing what you need to get done. That's going to make you work smarter at work. I think a lot of people that are working a job full time and also trying to launch a business on the side actually have the time. The problem is that you're not being rigorous and focused about what you're spending it on. I hope that helps. Keep in mind that you're in great company, Lizzie. You're in great company with other incredible entrepreneurs that actually didn't take the leap. They kept their job. Ever wear a pair of Spanx? Sarah Blakely. She kept her job while she launched that product for over a year. John Legend, he was crunching numbers as a consultant and singing at night in his mid-20s while he launched his music career. And the list goes on and on and on. So 30 before 7:30, get 2 things done during that time that'll advance your business, and you will be shocked at how quickly things grow. Good luck. What is it about quitting your job that scares you?
I'm an organized, planned person, and I've been in my corporate job for 6 years, love it, but it's not my passion.
Okay.
I've been with the USANA business for 3 years,
Okay.
but finally pursued my long 7-year dream of becoming a personal trainer.
Okay.
So now I'm a trainer, have USANA, I want to do health, fitness, and change lives.
Fantastic. So here's my take on quitting jobs. I want to be clear about the research because I know a lot of you feel a ton of pressure to quit. So the research shows very specifically that people that keep jobs that they hate while they build up a business to a point where it is responsible to step into it fail 33% less of the time than people that just quit because they're sick of it. Because what happens when you quit too soon is you put too much pressure on your dreams and on the new business. And then self-doubt and overwhelm and the realities of what you have to be responsible for kick in. And particularly for those of you with a family, with people that you're taking care of, with obligations, you need to be responsible. Do not use being responsible as a shield for hiding that you're a chicken when you're ready. Because you know when you're ready, and my formula is this. If you generate enough money 2 or 3 months in a row to pay your bills, you've demonstrated that this isn't luck and you're ready to go, as long as it's financially responsible. So that's my opinion. Again, everything that I say is my theory. It doesn't mean it's right. You have to take whatever people are telling you and calibrate it against what's right for you. Because when I walk out of here and Allie walks out of here, she's gonna go live her life and I'm not gonna be there except for on YouTube with her, okay? She's gotta own the decision. So it's clear that you want to do this. The question is this a question of being responsible and doing the math and the calculations, or is this a question of you're just scared to make the change?
I'm definitely scared.
Okay.
Because I want to be responsible. And I've looked at some of my best friends that have quit and pursued their passions, and because they've opened the space of having time, they've tripled their income.
Correct.
And doing what they love.
So can you make enough money to pay your bills? And have you done it consistently for a couple months?
No.
Okay. How much longer is it going to take you?
Well, I've been thinking that I need to give myself a timeline to have a fire under my ass.
So look, she's a very organized person. I am not. A timeline would not work for me. I am more of I need to build up an emergency and then be left with no choice, okay? But if a timeline works for you, you need to create a timeline. So let's pick a date right now
that is responsible. I think that if you put your head down and you did this, in the next 3 months, you could create enough income to prove to yourself that you could do this. You're gonna work yourself into the ground, you're gonna be doing the hustle at night and working during the day, and you're gonna be exhausted, and then you're gonna make it happen. But I think for your personality, let's pick a date right now. Go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. What are you waiting for?
I'm sweating.
Of course you are. So am I.
What's the date today?
I don't know.
17. August 17.
How much money do you need to quit? How much money do you need to make in 1 month in order to say, I can do this?
I haven't done that yet, and I feel like I need to do that.
Say it right now. How much money do you need to make in 1 month to say to yourself, I can pay my bills? Pick a number. Don't make it too big. You can kill going to Starbucks for a month. We can ratchet things down for a little bit.
No lash extensions.
No lash extensions. Jeez Louise.
Let's go with...
Hold on. Are your dreams more important than lash extensions?
Yes.
Okay. Don't you have a friend that's training that can do the fills for cheaper or something?
No,
you know?
I'm gonna have to add one to it.
Okay. Yes.
Let's go with 25,000.
A month?
Yeah.
Is what you need?
No.
What the hell kind of life do you live?
That's what I want. Nice
No.
and
No,
nothing.
no, 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 no. How much money do you need to pay your bills? You're not going to replace your corporate income overnight, and you're not going to do it while you are trying to personal train and do USANA. And based on the fact that you can afford lash extensions, and based on that gorgeous ring you're wearing, your lifestyle is more expensive and more important to you than this dream right now. So let's get real. How much money do you actually need to pay your bills? Not for the fancy stuff.
$3,000.
Boom! How fast could you do that? Tomorrow, correct? Yes. So this is actually the fact, like, I love how honest you are, so thank you, I love you, okay?
All my new friends.
Yes. Who can relate to her, by the way? Who can relate to her? You are so right, because you know intellectually that the second that you quit, you open up all this time and all this energy and all this passion, and you're going to triple and 10x and all the things that everybody says, blah, 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 blah. It's going to happen. But first you have to get real with the fact that your dreams are more important than holding on to the luxury of the lifestyle momentarily. Make sense?
Yes.
Got it. Secondly, when you put a number down like $3,000, which isn't a small amount of money, but you can make that happen for sure. Now it becomes obtainable, and you've just given yourself permission and a roadmap to quit. Now let's go back to your original question, which is the date. Oh God, I love you. You're so smart. Okay.
I'm going on my honeymoon in September, so I want to definitely utilize the vacation time.
Yes, of course. Why would that would be stupid not to have it?
Parents Thanksgiving, so I'm really thinking December 1st.
I'm really thinking that you're giving notice when you get back from Thanksgiving. Right? Let's move it up a little and make her uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay? So what I want, my request, is that you put something on social media the day after Thanksgiving, announcing that you have started your new personal training business in the next chapter of your life, and I want you to tag me.
Okay.
And we will cheer for you online. Oh, give me a hug. There you go. I want to teach you how to train yourself to dream big. It's actually a skill. And dreaming big is something that we used to do as kids, right? It was so easy as kids to sit in class because you were bored with, whatever it was that your teacher was doing, and you started to daydream. And as adults, we tend to lose that ability. So the Dream Book is going to be your companion to this program. And here's my philosophy about training yourself to dream big again as an adult. In the Dream Book, one of the things that you're going to be doing as a daily practice is you're going to do something that I do in my book, and that is every time I crack this open, because I keep my notes in here, is I write down the 5 things that I dream about. So I've written down, okay, I'm super embarrassed that I've written this down. So I'm going to tell you what my 5 are. And you can see, you probably can't see how red I'm turning because I have so much makeup on because I was in television today. And in television, they put a lot of makeup on you. In digital, I normally look like shit. But this is why we all need to learn to dream big and to dream authentically, because when you talk about it, you immediately shrink because we're trained not to have these aspirations. So the first thing that I wrote down is I want to be the #1 talk show in the United States. You know what's so fascinating is I used to dream of just actually being where I am. And now that I've achieved that, I have a dream that's even bigger. And what does it mean? And why is this dream important to me? And this is part of what you're going to learn in the workbook, but I'll tell you why this dream is important to me. Because if we are #1, it means that the work that we're doing that I care so deeply about, which is helping people heal their minds and heal their relationships and to live a more positive, happy, mentally well life, that we're reaching more people. That's what that means. And that's why I want it. I wrote down #1 New York Times bestseller. I have for years said I don't give a shit about it, but I actually do, I guess. And I think it's because it would be really nice to have the powers that be actually acknowledge the impact that we're making. Do I need it to keep going forward? No, of course not. And I will keep going forward. I want to make the Time 100 list for mental health and for the work that we're doing. And the reason why is because as much as I like being an entrepreneur that does things in a very innovative way, that kind of public recognition brings with it resources and partners that would allow you to make an even bigger impact. And so when I think about that kind of recognition, it challenges me to dream so much bigger than I'm dreaming right now about the impact that I want to make in mental health. The fourth one, this is not my dream right now, but I wrote this down 3 days ago, and that is to be the happiest I've ever been living in Vermont. The reason why I wrote that down at the time is because my son is going to go to high school in Vermont, and we are grappling with a move. And I had a mental breakdown when we started looking at houses there, thinking I couldn't live here. One of the interesting things about dreaming is your dreams will change. I love the daily practice of writing in your dream book the 5 things you're dreaming about, because you'll notice that there are things that show up consistently for you, and that's a sign that it's important to pay attention to it. It's important to walk toward it. And by writing, I dreamed that I'd be the happiest I'd ever be in Vermont, I was doing the work of trying to shift my attitude about how I was feeling about a move when I'm not that excited about it right now. The 5th one is I want to build a summer house. I grew up on Lake Michigan. I've spent the last 30 years not on the water. I dream to be successful enough that someday, in the next decade, I will have the money to buy a fantastic piece of property on the ocean, and I will build an awesome house that is a gathering place for our family. And hopefully that will not include grandchildren in the next decade. In the dream book, you're every single day going to write the 5 things down that you're dreaming about. And it's okay that they change, because over the course of this month, I just want to teach you how to give yourself permission to dream. And I think it's also important that you saw how embarrassed I got when I had to read the things that I wrote down to you, because I immediately felt, oh God, are you going to judge me? Oh gosh, am I being a hypocrite? Oh God, what if I don't achieve these things? Who am I to say these? How am I going to do this? All that stuff rushed up for me, and I'm the one teaching you how to do this. And it's important for you to see that, because all those feelings are normal that are going to come up, but they're what's currently stopping you from doing the work to live the next best decade of your life and to pursue the things that you dream about. It starts with training yourself to give yourself permission to dream. It's impossible to not have dreams. See, that's not how dreams work. Let me tell you something about dreams. I believe that you were born with dreams that are preset inside of you, and that those dreams are deeply personal to you, that your dreams are your birthright, and that part of the adventure that life is really, it's like a giant scavenger hunt that's been created for you, where life is giving you all kinds of clues that help you feel the pull of your dreams. And so I'm going to unpack this for you, okay? Because your dreams haven't gone anywhere. You may not, quote, know what your dreams are, but they are inside of you. They are in the back of your mind. You are just so blocked right now that you cannot feel the pull of your dreams trying to draw you toward them. But it's still happening. So I'm going to teach you something today that is going to change your life, because you don't have a choice about this. Those dreams, they're for you. They were been in there since you were born. They're meant for you. They're personal to you. And I can explain this piece about why they're personal to you. So I have a dream of creating like a weekend-long transformational event where literally we fill a stadium. And the energy and the teaching and the things that happen during this weekend retreat, that they are transformational for 10,000 people. That's my dream, okay? When I share that dream with my dad would rather stick a needle in his eye than think about standing on a stage in front of 10,000 people at an event he created. Because that dream is not meant for him. That dream is personal for me. And so when I see other people out there creating events and filling stadiums, I feel deeply jealous, because there's something about what somebody else is doing that reminds me of this dream that I have, this dream that I maybe feel a little blocked on, this dream that maybe I gave up on. Now let me talk about my dad. My dad casually mentioned a couple of years ago that he had always dreamt of hiking the Appalachian Trail from one end to the other. That takes like 6 to 8 months. I can't think of anything worse than hiking the Appalachian Trail from end to end with wet socks and wet underwear and pasty teeth and sleeping in a lean-to and eating out of a can and a can. This sounds like a nightmare. Why? That's not my dream. It's not meant for me. And so your dreams, I'm telling you, they're still in there, whether you can feel them or not. So that's number one. You got to accept the fact that you were born with dreams that are meant for you, and your job is to get unblocked so that you can feel the pull. The fastest way to get unblocked is to follow your jealousy. Now, that may sound like the most screwed up advice from somebody that is trying to help you improve your life, but trust me, jealousy is a super important signal, because jealousy is just blocked inspiration. That's all that it is. You see, you've convinced yourself that your dream isn't possible for you. You've convinced yourself you're not worthy of it. You've convinced yourself you're too old, or you're too young, or you're too this, or you're too that, or you're not good enough or smart enough, or whatever the hell it is. You've convinced yourself that your dream that was meant for you, that you were born with, that's personal to you, that it's not possible. But you still feel jealous of other people. That tells me that your dream is in the back of your mind, and jealousy is your inspiration, only it's blocked by your self-doubt. And so look around and see, who are you jealous of and why? Because there's something in that negative feeling that's an important signal for you. That jealousy is trying to wake your up and make you pay attention, that there's something that somebody else is doing. It could be the relationships that they have. It could be their health. It could be the discipline they have in their life. It could be what they do for a living. It could be their lifestyle. There's something about what that person is doing that's meant for you. Now, you're going to do it your own way, but your problem right now is that you're blocking yourself from even pursuing it. So, rule number one, your dreams never leave you. So accept that as a fact. They've been in there. You're just blocked. Rule number two, to awaken yourself, look around and notice who you're jealous of, and allow yourself to start to follow that jealousy, be pulled toward it, unpack what you're learning about why you're drawn toward what these other people are doing, and start pursuing it and making it your own. That is how you get unstuck. That is how you start to find your dreams. That is how you let the pull of that blocked inspiration that feels like jealousy pull you toward what is meant for you. Those dreams have not left you. You are blocked, and you can change it. I have a great story to tell you. And it's a story about the purpose of your dreams and why your dreams are not meant to be achieved. Not necessarily.
Your dreams have a different purpose. And what your dreams are meant for is your dreams are meant to act like a beacon outside of you, out in the future, something that's so inspiring that calls you through your fear, through your doubt, toward your dream. That's the purpose of the dream, to call you through your fear. And I've got an incredible story to tell you, because when you allow yourself to be pulled forward by your dreams and through your fears and through your doubts, and you work on the things that you really are inspired to do, what's meant for you will find you. So I want to take you back a couple of years when the 5-Second Rule book was launching. It came out in February of 2017. I was a self-published author. It was very important for me to self-publish the book because I wanted to make sure I owned the content. And being a self-published author is incredible, but you don't have the support of a massive traditional publisher. So you do everything on your own. And my dream at the time was to be a New York Times best-selling author. I had always dreamt of it, and I'd always dreamt of being number one, not just making the list, but being number one. And I worked so hard on that book. I put my life and everything I had into that book. And for 6 months, I did all of the things that you're supposed to do in order to sell as many books as you need to sell in order to make the New York Times bestseller list. And I'm saying for 6 months, I was schlepping books around to every speech and pre-selling copies and writing lists by hand of people's names so I could send them signed books when the book came out. And I was creating email campaigns and doing stuff on social media and networking with influencers. When I tell you for 6 months straight, I did nothing but try to figure out what I could do to try to reach my dream of being a New York Times bestselling author, I did everything you were supposed to do. So the week that the book comes on sale, the day that it happens, I send out a newsletter to our newsletter list. I tell everybody on social media. A bunch of my friends post about the book. And all of a sudden, sales start rolling in. I'm super excited. I'm getting texts from friends. I just bought your book. And about an hour later, I start getting emails from people saying, I tried to buy your book on Amazon, but it's out of stock. And I thought, that's unbelievable. Holy cow. I was so successful at marketing this book. I've worked so hard. I've been rewarded. We've sold through the tens of thousands of copies that our printing and publishing partner printed for us as a self-publishing. I was so excited. I was doing a happy dance. I thought all my hard work is paid off. My dreams are coming true. And then the emails started to come in. It's out of stock. It's out of stock. It's out of stock. And I start to think, I don't have that big of an email list. There must be something wrong. I couldn't have sold through that many books in an hour. And so I go to Amazon, and sure enough, the book is listed out of stock, which the book remained listed out of stock for the first several weeks that it was on sale. And it wasn't because we had sold all the books. Amazon listed my book as out of stock because we had sent so much traffic to Amazon, and I was a nobody, and Amazon had no idea who I was because I'm a self-published author. And when they get a surge of traffic on an unknown product like that, they list the book as out of stock until they can figure out what's going on in terms of the traffic and their actual inventory in the warehouse. Now, not knowing any better, I didn't know who to call. I had no power to change the situation. And so for 3 weeks, the book remained out of stock as all my marketing was happening, as I was appearing on podcasts, as I was showing up on like Tom Bilyeu's Impact Theory show and Lewis Howes' School of Greatness podcast. All of my effort was sending everybody to a page that listed the 5-second rule as out of stock. I felt like the world's biggest failure. I felt like God and the universe was punishing me. I regretted every decision I made to self-publish. I felt like there was something wrong with me because I had worked so hard to make this dream come true. And in that critical 3-week period, when all of my effort was supposed to be selling books, the variable of Amazon I could not control. And I literally cried every day. Every freaking day. And here's the one thing that saved me during that time. Because I just wanted to throw my hands in the air and say, everybody. Why has this always happened to me? I just was going down the pity party negative thought train. And this was the one thought that saved me. I kept saying, there's no way in hell, after working this hard, that the universe isn't going to reward me. There's no way in hell that I've worked this hard that the universe is not going to reward me. I would wake up every morning, I would check Amazon, it would say out of stock, I would start crying. All those negative feelings would come rushing in. I'd want to give up on my dream of being a New York Times bestselling, or hell, at this point, a best-selling author. But I would say, Mel, there's no way in hell that you're not going to get rewarded after working this hard. There must be something better that's coming. This is a mindset trick that will save you. There must be something better that's coming. And this gets back to my original point. Your dreams are not necessarily to be achieved. That's not their purpose. The purpose of your dreams is to pull the greatest part of you through your fears and your doubts, to make you do the work, to have you to start walking toward the thing that's calling you forth. Dreams call the best in you forth. That's the purpose of a dream. And I'm telling you right now, if you continue to work hard, if you continue to put your head down, if you continue to do everything you're supposed to do and you give up that timeline, you will be rewarded. And I promise you, there is something better that's in store for you, something you can't even imagine. That's exactly what happened to me. Because after 3 weeks of this crap going on, all of a sudden I get an email. And the email says, your monthly report is available. And it was an email from Audible. See, I had self-published the audiobook too. I had recorded it myself. My husband, Chris, had uploaded the files to the Amazon platform called ACX, which is what you self-publish audiobooks through. And I was so focused on having the hardcover make the New York Times bestseller list, I hadn't even remembered that there was an audiobook. And this whole time, this whole 3 weeks that the book was out of stock, and I'm crying every morning, and I'm pushing through, and I'm doing podcasts, and I'm doing all the things I had planned on doing, and beating myself up, but pushing myself forward, saying, Mel, there's no way you're not going to be rewarded. There is something better that's meant for you. Just keep going. Well, what happened is that entire 3 weeks, you guys, that I was working my tail off, crying every day, pushing forward, everybody was buying up the audiobook like toilet paper in a pandemic because it was the only thing that was available. When I got this sales report, I nearly fell out of my chair. I became the #1 audiobook on Audible for the entire year. And because the audiobook was so successful, Amazon got its inventory straightened out, and I became the 5th most read book on Amazon of that entire year in 2017. The 5-second rule audiobook has something crazy like 50,000 reviews. It's incredible. I'm so proud of it. And even more importantly, my hard work was rewarded because I've gone on to do 4 more audiobooks as Audible originals for Audible, something that never would have happened if I had had a successful hardcover campaign. Do you see? My dream of being a New York Times best-selling author, even the dream of being #1, the purpose of that dream was to make me work hard, to make me work for it. But that's not the dream that was meant for me at that moment in my life. Something better was meant for me, and I got it because I worked so hard for that dream of being a New York Times bestseller. Now, you want to know the kicker? I've never made the list. I've never made any traditional bestseller list. Of course, I dominate on Amazon, but the traditional stuff, never made it. I wasn't meant to. I was meant to let that dream of being a New York Times bestselling author pull me forward, make me work, make me believe. And in the work itself and in telling yourself you will be rewarded, you will get what's meant for you. I believe this with absolutely every ounce of my being. Absolutely every ounce of my being. You need your dreams. You cannot give up on your dreams, because when you give up your dreams, you give up on a part of yourself. And you need your dreams because they pull you through your fear. They pull you through this moment. They give you something bigger to work toward. They activate and energize something inside of you. But if your dreams aren't coming true, remember your friend Mel Robbins and remember this story that I told you, and you keep your head down and you keep working for it. Because I promise you, if you give up your timeline, if you keep putting in the work, you will be rewarded. And on those mornings where you wake up like I was waking up every morning and crying and making myself wrong, you flip your mindset and you remind yourself, there's no way you won't be rewarded when you work this hard. And you remind yourself that there is something better that's meant just for you. And that's why you haven't gotten what you thought you wanted yet. I love you. So Bridget asked, does your dream always have to bring you money or a career? Or can it just be a way of living life? I'm really caught up with that. I love this question. No, your dream does not, and in some cases should not have money involved with it. And one of the things that I love about this question is that society has created a definition of ambition that is attached to success and money. And there are so many ways to be ambitious and to dream in your life. Maybe your dreams have to do with life balance. Maybe your dreams have to do with where you live. Maybe your dreams have to do with how you live your life. Maybe your dreams have to do with health or volunteering, all of which has nothing to do with money. And one of the reasons why I think it's very difficult for you to fully embrace your biggest dreams that have nothing to do with success, career, money, is because it requires something of you to dedicate time and energy to pursuing things that don't earn money. You have to believe that you're worthy enough of these things, even though they don't make money. And I think for women in particular, this is a very challenging thing, because women are, based on the culture that we've grown up in, trained to take care of everybody. We're trained to put everybody else first. We're trained to put ourselves last. And so if you're a woman that's watching this, I guarantee you're probably last on your own list. And so one of the coolest things about having a dream that has nothing to do with money or a career is it means you're investing in yourself. And I guarantee you, if you're a woman, you're going to have a more challenging time than most men in doing that, because when the dream has money and career attached to it, the money and the career somehow validate the importance of that dream. When there's no money and no career associated with that dream, the validation has to come from you. And if you struggle with self-worth issues, if you struggle with putting yourself first, if you struggle with pursuing things that matter to you, this is one of the most important reasons why you need to have dreams on your list that are enormous, that have nothing to do with money. Because the simple act of writing down a dream like that, of having more quiet time in your life, of having a meditation practice, of living with kindness and forgiveness, whatever it is that that dream may be, it's going to require you to validate that dream simply by working on it, which means you're validating your own self-worth. So I absolutely love that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's go to another question. From Angie, why is it so easy to fill out limiting beliefs, but almost paralyzing to figure out an alternative, think this, not that? How many of you are having trouble with this? It's very easy to see where you doubt yourself, but it's super hard to come up with the alternative thought that you're going to substitute. Well, the reason why it's hard is because you actually believe these thoughts. And these thoughts have become patterns, and they've become habits, and they've become so prevalent in your life that they're almost like the co-host of your life. If you think about it, you are the star of your life. But if the supporting actor is a limiting belief that constantly tells you that you're not good enough, or that you're not worthy, or that you'll never succeed, then it's no wonder that you believe it, because the co-star of your life is your limiting beliefs. And so it's not easy to change your limiting beliefs, but it is simple. And it begins with you identifying them and then substituting them. So the most, I think, effective way of beginning the process of teaching yourself how to identify a limiting belief and then come up with your own substitute positive belief as a way to change the negative pattern in your mind is to use the power of objectivity. So write down all your limiting beliefs. And I'm going to go through this in detail in just a second. Write down all your limiting beliefs. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Nothing works out for me. Nobody's going to love me. Whatever the fuck it is that you think that's bringing you down. And then you can ask yourself this. What would Mel say? If Mel were sitting here across from me, what would Mel say? Another thing you can do, you can write the opposite of what you're thinking. And you may not believe it. It's okay. Because what we're doing is training you in a new pattern. And one of the things that Angie asked is she wanted to know, what were my limiting beliefs? So yesterday we sent out this workbook, the Best Decade Ever Toolkit. It's in your email. If you go to the Facebook group, Best Decade Ever with Mel Robbins, it's also listed on the files. You'll find a download for this. Check your junk email if you didn't get it. But so my limiting beliefs. So I want to have the #1 talk show of the decade. And the #1 talk show of the decade right now seems to be Ellen. And so it's interesting because a lot of my limiting beliefs, I think, are provoked by the fact that I'm the newcomer in a space that I have huge dreams of making a mark in and dominating. So one of my limiting beliefs is someone's already done it. How many of you have that one? My dream has already been done. So my substitute thought, because this feels kind of true, doesn't it? Somebody's already done it. And then my substitute thought, the think this, not that, is, well, they haven't done it my way yet. It hasn't been done by me yet. Do you see what I mean? So somebody else has done it. Okay, I get it. It hasn't been done by me yet. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. How many of you have that limiting belief? It'll never happen. My substitute belief, it hasn't happened yet. So I'm acknowledging that it hasn't happened, but I'm adding on the yet as a way to keep my mind in the positive. It didn't happen last time, so it's not going to happen this time. How many of you have that one? Yeah. This is what I say. I wasn't ready then. I'm ready now. Because it didn't happen last time because I didn't know everything I know now. I'm ready now. I don't deserve it. How many of you have this limiting belief? I don't deserve it. My thought is, if I work hard, I'll earn it. Do you see that? So it flips from a statement where I'm bashing my self-worth, I don't deserve it, to a statement about putting in the effort. If I work hard, I'll earn it. Oh, I've got this story that I'm the bad news bears, that I'm literally like the person with the worst equipment, and I'm the underdog, and I'm underfunded, and why does it have to be so hard? And why does it seem so much easier for everybody else? And blah, 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 blah. And I flip that into, I love being underestimated, and I love being the underdog. In a very weird way, as much as it exhausts me, it also empowers me. Oh, here's a specific limiting belief. How the fuck am I going to compete with Ellen? I can't compete with Ellen. Especially when she's been at it for 20 years. She has the budget of God and an army of people that are supporting her. I mean, there was something she did announced yesterday on social media that I was so like, oh, of course. And I was so jealous. She announced a partnership with Starbucks where she's encouraging people to pay for somebody's coffee using the Starbucks app behind them in line. And then take a video of it and upload it. And they're going to bring them on the show. And I was like, oh, will I ever get there? Will I ever get to do cool stuff like that? And the answer is yeah. She proves it's possible. And also, I can take the 10 years and be like, and in 20 years, I won't even recognize the cool stuff I'll be able to doing if I put in the work. So take that jealousy or somebody else or whatever and say it proves it's possible. Now put in the work. So those are some of my limiting beliefs, and that's how you can do it. And by the way, if you can't do that exercise successfully on your own, post in the Facebook group and tell people this is your limiting belief. Can somebody help you come up with a substitute positive belief so that you can think this, not that? Ask somebody in your life to help you. And then what you do is when you find yourself going down the route of that negative thought, it'll never happen. You're going to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, use the 5-second rule to interrupt the negative belief. And then you are going to insert the positive belief. It hasn't happened yet. That's it. Just keep going. All right. From Tiffany, what if you don't have the money you need to buy the things, supplies you need to get the dream business off the ground? First of all, I don't believe that that's actually true. I think that we tend to hide behind gear when really what is required to start a business is grit. I don't know what kind of business you want to start, Tiffany, but I guarantee you there are ways for you to borrow equipment, or maybe you can sell some things that you don't use or don't need, and you can get a little bit money and get some used equipment, or maybe you can do it without the equipment. But I don't know that the equipment is what you need, because I don't know what kind of business you're looking to have. But I do know that you can start in a smaller way, and you can start earning a little bit of money, and then you can eventually earn the money to get the equipment. You can also finance the equipment. You can also find cheaper equipment. You can also borrow equipment. And so don't let equipment and gear be the thing that becomes the excuse for why you can't do it. Find the grit to continue to build the skills, find the grit to continue to network and meet people that are launching these kinds of businesses or in the space that you want to be in, find the grit to keep moving forward. And there's no doubt in my mind that the money and the equipment will magically appear. What other ones do we want to do, Danielle?
This one from Tracy.
Yep.
On Facebook.
Okay.
What do you do if following your dreams means others have to make sacrifices? I'm the primary breadwinner in my family. I make 6 figures, and my dream would require me to take a new job that would be a massive pay cut. How do I get over the guilt?
So what do you do when your dream impacts other members of your family? So this is a woman who is the bread earner for her family. She makes 6 figures, and in order to pursue her dream, she will be accepting a job with a pay cut. At the end of the day, your family wants one thing for you. They want you to be happy. And if you were to sit down and work out on paper what it means and what it doesn't mean for you to take a pay cut, you can then sit down with your family and explain that this is something that you're asking for their support in doing, because in giving you their support, which may mean we're not going to go on vacation this year. It may mean that you're going to have to get a babysitting job if you want to do club sports, because you're going to have to help pay for it, which, by the way, is a wonderful thing for your kids to do. By you talking to your family about why it is that you are so drawn and called forth to pursue this dream and asking for their support, you will get a level of buy-in that removes the guilt. We are currently grappling with a big change in our family right now because our son wants to go to high school in Vermont. Now, I work in New York and I have a business in Boston. And this is not a boarding school. It happens to be a school in a town that we've been going to for years and years and years because Chris's family lives up there. But it would mean a major change in where we live. And so our son is doing this with us right now. He's sitting down and saying, this is something that really matters to me. This is a dream of mine. How could we make it work? And it's been a lot of up and down and roller coaster emotional conversations of what it would look like to make a massive change for the next 48 months and the sacrifices that I would need to make and that Chris would need to make and how that would impact our family. And so that is the way that you make a decision. And by the way, we're not decided yet on what we're doing. We're going through the roller coaster, but by God, I am impressed by my son, who's 14 years old, who is advocating for his dream. And when somebody that you love advocates for their dream, the guilt transfers a little bit, because when you love somebody, what do you want for them? You want them to be happy. And you feel guilty not doing what it takes if what it takes is reasonable and doable and manageable. You're the one that feels guilty for not supporting the people in your life. So I think you work it out on paper. You really understand what that sacrifice means. You really understand what you're asking. And then you start holding family meetings and you do a lot of listening and you do a lot of problem solving. And I bet that this is going to be a lot easier decision than you think. All right. How about another one?
From Daniel on our community text platform.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do in cases where your two dreams seem to contradict each other? For instance, I want to write a best-selling book and start my own business, but I feel like unless I give all of my time to one of them, I won't be putting full effort into either. I also fear that if I devote all my time to one dream, and if it turns out it's not for me, I'll regret having focused on the other one.
Gotcha. So we've got Daniel on our texting platform, and the texting platform, if you want to join that for free, is 617-284-0725. What do I do if I have two dreams and they seem to contradict one another? Well, interestingly, in week 2 of our program, which begins on Monday, you're going to have the weekend off to catch up, to enjoy the Facebook group, to really reflect on the materials and the things that you've learned in week 1 of Best Decade Ever, where we've talked about dreaming bigger and why it's so important and how hard it is, and your limiting beliefs. Week 2 is about how we pick a dream and we use it as a theme to anchor you this year and call you forward. I personally don't believe that there are dreams that are at odds with each other. I believe that there are dreams that happen on different timelines. And so you're correct that if you were to put all kinds of energy into both things at the same time, it would have a detrimental effect on both of those things. And so what you need to do, in my opinion, is pick the primary dream that you're going to focus the majority of your efforts on this year in terms of moving it down the field. You don't have to achieve it this year. You're just going to pick this as the thing that you're going to move down the field. And then pick a secondary thing that you're working on that continues to allow you to grow. So for example, I can tell you personally that a business that you want to build takes way more time than writing a book. And so if you're really called forward and you have a dream to launch this business in this decade, I would make that the primary thing that you're exploring this year. That said, something like a book can be advanced through a small daily practice. I was sharing earlier in the live stream before it cut out, so I'm going to say it again. I've recently discovered a website that I love. It's free, which you know is one of the criterias that I love. I'm going to write it down because it's odd to say. It's 750words.com. So for those of you that want to write a book, 750words.com, something I've just started using. And I click the link, I go to my private account, and then I just start typing. And what are you doing? You're typing 750 words every time you log on. And I'm trying to do it 5 days a week because I want to build the skill of writing every day. Why? Well, because I want to write an international best-selling phenomenon in the personal development space called The 5 Decisions. Oh, and right behind that is the 5-second diet book, because we are already testing the 5-second diet and seeing insane results with people, because the 5-second diet isn't about what you eat. It's about how you think about yourself and food and your self-worth. And those changes are made 5 seconds at a time. But so there are things that there are dreams that require that you should make primary. Pick one. That's launching your business. And then there are dreams that you can inch forward every day, like writing a book and working on developing the skills. So I don't think dreams are ever at odds. I just think dreams occur at different speeds and different timelines. And it's up to you to figure out which one is going to take the primary role in 2020 and which one is going to happen on a longer timeline. There you go. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, Sharon from our Facebook group.
Sharon from our Facebook group.
I think I can be successful with what I want to do because it's something I'm extremely passionate about.
Awesome.
But I also feel like I'm sabotaging myself because I know I will be judged by my family members and I don't know how to push past their negativity.
Okay.
What strategies do you have?
See, the thing about your family when they don't get on board is that they don't. One of two things is happening. Either they don't truly understand at an emotional level how important this is to you. And if they don't understand that, that's on you. And so before you just dismiss them as negative, it's amazing how one conversation at a dining room table with your family, where you open up for real about how their ridicule and their lack of support makes you feel isolated, beaten down, and incredibly sad. And if you get emotionally vulnerable with your family and you explain the impact that their lack of support and ridicule has been having on you, it will change immediately. You see, I think a lot of us have family dynamics where there's sarcasm and joking and shrugging things off, and we don't have the real timeout conversations where we share the impact of those behaviors in certain chapters of our life. And so I think you might be surprised if you were to have a very vulnerable conversation with your family about how their behavior is impacting you and what specifically you need from them so that you can feel supported. So that's number one. Number two, even if you have that conversation, your family might not ever be that enthusiastic about what you're doing. That's okay. You can't change them. You can get the ridicule to stop. You might not get the cheerleading that you need, but you'll get the ridicule to stop. And one of the reasons why a lot of times family members don't get excited about dreams is because it's very confronting when you change. It's very confronting when you want to do things that impact other people. I mean, just look at what's happening in my life right now. I love my son. I freaking would do anything for the kid. I want him to have the most extraordinary high school experience because he has gone to 3 schools in the last 5 years because of a significant issue with dyslexia and dysgraphia and executive functioning and just his learning style. And he's in an incredible school right now, but it ends in 8th grade. And his dream is to go to school in Vermont. Holy shit. At first I was excited, and then I got really clear about the impact on all of us. And I got very scared about all the uncertainty, and we're still sorting through it. It's not that I'm not excited for him. It's not that I don't want to support him. It's that his dream really impacts our lives. It'll be interesting to see where we end up in terms of where he ends up going to high school, but change is a process. And if you're the one changing, you got to realize it creates ripples that impact other people. And that's okay. People can be upset by your change. They can be confronted by your change. The important thing is that you just keep talking about the impact that it's having on you. And you keep making specific requests about what it is that you need specifically from your family so that you feel more supported. And so it's been a back and forth for us. You know, what I said is, in order to get on board with this decision around Vermont, I need us to just look at a few more schools around here to make sure that this is 1,000% the right decision, because it just felt a little quick. And that's a reasonable request. I'm getting off tangent here. So, you know, I relate to this because I feel like I'm on the whoa end of, not end, but I'm the one going whoa on somebody that I love's dreams. But you've got to be open to the conversation. If they're ridiculing you, it's a totally different thing. You got to ask that to stop, and you got to explain how it's impacting you. If they just have concerns, you got to believe in your dreams enough to enroll them and to have space for them to feel nervous and for you to still bring them along with you. And if they're just anti, then you're going to have to figure out how you pursue it without really engaging them in it. All right.
Another question?
Yeah, one more. Yeah, let's go.
This is from Andy, and a lot of people in the Facebook group and
Okay.
text have also asked this. How do you balance your dreams with your real life? Sickness, trauma, grief, a sick parent. I'm at that stage right now, and it feels really hard to dream.
Oh, God. How do you balance your dreams with the realities of life? You may be dealing with an illness, sickness, a sick parent. You know, I got to come back to that Trevor Noah passage. Let me read this to you. I think I have it right here. Let me see if I can pull up today's newsletter.
If you don't, I can airdrop it to you. I have it.
God bless you. Yeah, go ahead and airdrop it to me. I think I have it right here, but let me see. New decade, new letter. Oh, okay. Oh, it just went out. Okay. Here we go. So I read a bunch of books over the course of the holiday. It's my goal to read a book a week. And it's been really amazing. And one of the books that I read was Trevor Noah's jaw-dropping memoir, Born a Crime. And it's all about him growing up as a biracial kid, which was actually a crime to be biracial, because it was a crime for people of different races to have sex and to have children. And he grew up during apartheid. And there was this passage that really struck me, and I talk about it in today's newsletter that just went out. Not for this program, but if you want to be on our newsletter list, go to melrobbins.com, and right on the homepage, there's a sign up for the newsletter. Here's what he writes. We tell people to follow their dreams, but you can only dream of what you can imagine. And depending upon where you come from, your imagination can be quite limited. Growing up in Soweto, our dream was to put another room on our house, maybe have a driveway, maybe someday a cast iron gate at the end of the driveway, because that is all we knew. But the highest rung of what's possible is far beyond the world you can see. And then he writes about how my mother showed me what was possible. The thing that always amazed me about her life was that no one showed her. She did it on her own. And what she showed Trevor was possible is she raised him to see a world outside of the ghetto in Soweto way before apartheid had ended. She was raising him for a world in which apartheid was over, before they could even wrap their minds around the possibility that it could happen. And so whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life right now, it can put blinders on you because you have to deal with your aging parent. You have to deal with the illness that's in front of you. But it is so critical that you still dream. Why? Because dreams transport you from the day to day. Dreams give you a beacon to look up, because dreams will remind you that the situation that you're facing right now is temporary. Dreams will remind you that even if the situation isn't temporary, let's say that you've got some horrendous degenerative disease, and so it's going to get worse, not better. Dreams still give you a purpose to live a bigger life despite what you're dealing with. Now, you may not have the bandwidth to pursue your dreams because of how sick your parents are. That's okay. It won't always be like this. But it is critical that as a form of self-love, as a form of self-care, that you still build the skill of holding space for your dreams and writing those dreams down every day and thinking about those dreams and reading about those dreams, because they will help you move through the chapter of the life that you're in more powerfully, more grounded, and more fulfilled. What if I want to start a YouTube channel for makeup and you don't have enough makeup to do it? And people are going to mock me for having tutorials with only 2 eyeshadow palettes and 2 cheap makeup brushes. Should I wait until I save enough money to buy proper makeup? Or should I start it tomorrow with what I have? Of course you need to start. Imagine if you became the makeup artist that was known for doing incredible makeup with only ever using 2 different brushes. Most of us can't afford to buy super expensive makeup. How about you become the person that shows the world how you do world-class makeup, only buying what you can find at Walmart or CVS? There is an entire brand. There are some makeup folks that I love. One of my personal favorites, Candy Johnson. She made her first video in 2009.
Okay, so what we're gonna show you is how to clean your brushes.
Not even doing makeup. Explaining how you clean your makeup brushes using olive oil, baby shampoo, and a paper towel. You know, she now has almost 4 million subscribers. Imagine if in 2009, she had sat and said to herself, I better wait to start until I can buy some very fancy brushes. There are always going to be people that are doing makeup tutorials and that are launching books and that are launching shows and that seem like they have bigger lives and better lives and that they've beat you to the punch. Here's the thing, you're not in the same race. You see, you're only ever running against yourself. There's room for all of us. There's room for you to do the same thing. There's room for you to write that book. There's room for you to do those makeup tutorials. There's room for you to launch that restaurant. There's room for you to start your singing lessons. There's room for you to write that song. It is normal, and it is going to happen to you all the time that you are going to see people that seem to block out the sun whenever they make an announcement because they're that big and that amazing. I don't want you to allow yourself to shrink when somebody else is doing something that is similar to what you want to do. Hey, it's Mel. Thank you so much for checking this video out. And if you like this one, I have a feeling you're going to like this one too. I'll see you there.